overview of the three lines of defense. Reporters, Apple Secretariat, April
The second
Diacampo.
line of defense is the non-specific innate. This mechanism, it involves immune cells and proteins that protect against the wide range of pathogen. There are uh, six components of 6 key components of the innate response. It includes phagocytosis. Number one, phagocytosis is certain immune cells, like examples of phagocytosis is macrophages, neutrophils engulf and digest pathogen. And then number two, we have a phagosome formation. It is a pathogens that enclose in vesicles. It is called phagosome. That's the pathogen who enclose the vesicles, and it is called phagocytes. And then number three, we have lysomes. It is where enzymes degrade the pathogens are presented to immune cell for recognition cells. It is where the pathogen are presented to immune cells in the lysomes. And then we had number four, cytotoxic T cells. These immune cells directly attack infected cells, so it is directly attack in the infected cells. It is a cytotoxic T cells. And then we have number five. It is a complement protein. It is a group of proteins that enhance pathogen destruction. So it is a group of a protein who can be able to enhance pathogen and destructions. So we have six components of innate response. The phagocytes first, second phagosome formations, third lysomes, fourth cytotoxic T cells, and then lastly complement protein. The non-specific innate response act as a rapid. So, uh, ang non-specific innate daw is ni-act siya as a rapid general defense mechanism to combat virus virus threat virus threat. In conclusions of the non-specific innate and the summary, the immune system comprises three defense mechanisms that work a coordinated manner to protect against pathogens. So there are three defense mechanisms that work in coordinated manner to protect against pathogen. The physical barrier, non-specific innate response, and the specific adaptive response. So, mao ni siya ang three main defense mechanism nga nag-protect sa body against pathogens. The physical, number one, the physical barrier. Number two is the non-specific innate response and specific adapted response. together form a robust defense systems that play a vital role in the maintaining health and protecting against harmful invaders. This is the three main defense who uh, play a role in maintaining health and protecting the body against harmful invaders. That's all. Thank you.
The third line of defense is the adaptive immune response, which consists of humoral mediated immunity and cell mediated immunity. Humoral mediated immunity is the name for immunity that is provided by B cells, and cell mediated immunity is the name for immunity provided by T cells. They're both white blood cells, and together they fight infection. Humoral refers to the humors of the body, meaning the fluids of the body. B cells are able to provide immunity in the humors or fluids of the body because B cells secretes antibodies to circulate throughout the blood and other fluids of the body. If an infection has reached the insides of the cells, humoral mediated immunity will not be effective. This is why cell mediated immunity exists. T cells protect the body from infection that have reached the insides of the cells. Thus, by providing immunity in the fluids of the body through B cells, and by providing immunity from infected cells of the body through T cells, the adaptive immune response is able to provide immunity throughout the human body.
The rules of
The role
markers,
of marker.
reporters,
A
Kema
marker,
Sin,
largely
Roasting
synonymous with
Gaitan.
the word landmark, and often referred to as a genomic marker or genetic marker. And it is a DNA sequence, typically with a known location in a genome. Markers can reflect random sequence, genomic variants, or genes. Markers are used as signposts or landmarks in the construction of DNA and genome maps. Markers can also be used to track inheritance of traits or disease risk in families. In marker gene, it is used to determine if a nucleic acid sequence has been successfully inserted into an organism's DNA.
Good afternoon, sisters. This report is continuation of Maasin report, and our topic is all about the role of marker. So, yung ganitang role of marker, it is a DNA sequence typically with a known location in a genome. So, marker can reflect random sequences, genomic variants, or genes. So, marker, it also known as landmark, or it is often referred to a genetic marker. So mayong ganitong genetic marker, so mao na siya ang DNA sequence with a known physical location on a chromosome. So ang genetic marker mo na siya makatabang to link an inherited disease with the responsible gene. So ang marker, it is a piece of DNA that lies on the chromosomes, so close to a genes that the marker and the genes inherited together. So a marker is just an identifiable heritable spot on a chromosomes. So mayroong marker, it can be an express region of DNA or a gene, or segments of DNA with no known coding function. All that matters is that the marker can be detected and trailed. So the term marker, the term marker may be used in other contexts, such as with example such as blood marker or tumor markers. So marker also traits or condition etc that indicates the presence of or a probable increased predisposition towards a physical or mental disorder. So, ang marker, it is also identifying the position of different alleles that are located close to one another on the some chromosomes and tends to be inherited together.
How phagocytosis works. Reporters Keith Amblero, Urethane Garcia.
Wherein a cell binds to the item. It wants to engulf the cell surface and draws the items inward while engulfing around it. The process of phagocytosis often happens when the cell is trying to destroy something, like virus or an infected cell, and is often used by immune system. So phagocytosis is an immune defense mechanism used to remove pathogens and cell debris. Phagocytosis leaves the bloodstream and migrates into the affected tissues. How does phagocytosis happen? First, the virus and the cell needs to come into contact with each other. Second, the virus binds to the cell surface receptor on the macrophage.
The third step to complete the process of phagocytosis, the macrophage starts to surround the virus and engulf it into the cell. Next is the surrounded virus becomes completely enclosed in a bubble-like structure called the phagosome within the cytoplasm. Next is the phagosome fuses with lysosome becoming phagolysosome. Next is that phagolysosome lowers the pH to break down its content. And the last one is once the content has been neutralized, the phagolysosome forms a residual body that contains the waste product from the phagolysosome.
The steps in
So
inflammation.
the next topic
Reporters
we will tackle about
Jamaica
is all about
Irez,
the steps
Jessel
in
Salas.
inflammation. So, what is inflammation? The inflammation is a part of the body's defense mechanism. It is the process by which the immune system recognizes and removes foreign substances. So, inflammation is not the problem, but what causes the problem is for example, the viruses, bacteria, or foreign substances that has entered our body. That's why there is an inflammation because of them. So, there are two types of inflammation, which is the acute and chronic inflammation. So, the acute inflammation is the response to sudden body damage, like for example, cutting our fingers, which causes swelling afterwards, after the bleedings. That's why we recognize that there is an inflammation in that area. So the next is the chronic inflammation, which is your body continues sending inflammatory cells even when there is no harm outside. So like for example, cancers, which is it attacks the good cells within our body, but we cannot know that there is inflammation inside our body because without a physical examination or consultation. So there are, according to our research, there are 6 steps in inflammation. So the first step is where the tissue damage caused by bacterial infection or injury. So for example, wato masama na to accidentally ang atong fingers. So the second step is where it releases the release of vasodilators and chemotactic factors like histamine. So vasodilators like histamine, this causes our blood vessels to dilate, which will cause a blood flow to the area, which will cause eventually swelling. So the next step is this lead to increased capillary permeability and blood flow to the area. So muna ang histamine gakause siya og pagdilate sa mga blood vessels, which enables blood flow through the area, and also along with the blood there's also white blood cells and anything. So the next step is where the margination followed by migration of phagocytes to the site of infection. So, along with the white blood cells, red blood cells, and also there is also these phagocytes, which helps us fight against the foreign substances that has entered our body. Aside from phagocytes, also swelling also helps. Swelling is not bad for our body. Swelling can help our body to isolate the foreign substance from further contact inside our body. So it helps us isolate them isolate the foreign substance. So phagocytes also is also responsible for they are the cleaning or the cleaners for body system. They are the ones responsible for eating the foreign substances and also the dead cells. So after they have done their job, the phagocytes eventually die afterwards. So the next step is the serum proteins along with phagocytes destroys bacteria. So that's it, the clean sila sa infected area. So the last step is the once intruder is destroyed, inflammation settles down. So after that, after mahuman o kaon ni phagocytes ang mga foreign invaders or mga viruses and mga dead cells, the healing process starts to follow.
So, good evening, sister. Our topic is all about inflammation. So, what is inflammation? So, inflammation is a part of body's defense mechanism. It is the process by which the immune system recognizes and removes harmful and foreign stimuli and begins the healing process. So, inflammation can be either acute or chronic. So, inflammation has two parts, the acute and the chronic inflammation. So, when we say acute inflammation, it's a immediate adaptive response with limited specificity caused by several noxious stimuli such as infection or tissue damage. So when we say acute, it is a like good inflammation. Um, it is a serious triggers inflammation, like for example, a cut, a bruise or infection. And then the acute good inflammation is releases inflammatory compounds, and then the jobs of acute good inflammation, it's get done and anti-inflammatory compound are released, the body will give back to business as usual. So ang acute good inflammation, after all the bruise, the infection that he has caused or the causes, after that the acute good inflammation will back to body, and then the business will go through as usual. And then when we say chronic inflammation, like it is a chronic bad inflammation, this is a non-serious event triggers inflammation such as eating certain food, and then acne breakouts, and then bacteria. So the body releases inflammatory compounds. It is a chronic bad inflammation. And then the body does not release anti-inflammatory compounds and keep sending an inflammatory response. So the acute good inflammation is the body will give back to business as usual. And then the chronic bad inflammation, the body does not release anti-inflammatory compounds and keeps sending an inflammatory response to our body. And then that's all. Thank you.
Lymphatic system. Reporters Reen Agonia, Kimberly Allegri,
the group
Jorby
2, and
Abadencia.
we are about to report the topic, which is the lymphatic system. And at this time, I will give the camera to our first reporter of the lymphatic system. She is Jorivi.
So, what is lymphatic system? Lymphatic system is a group of organs, vessels, and tissues that protect you from infection and keep a healthy balance of fluids throughout your body. Lymphatic system organs include your bone marrow, thymus, and lymph nodes. So, ang lymphatic system mao ni siya ang usa ka grupo sa mga organs sa atong mga ugat, mga tissue nga nanlipod sa murag cover sa ato ang lawas o himsog nga balanse sa mga liquid sa ato ang lawas. So, ang mga organ nga lymphatic system naglakip sa imuang bone marrow and thymus o lymph nodes. So, ang bone marrow is a spongy substance found in the center of the bones. It manufactures bone marrow stem cells and other substances, which in turn produce blood cells. Each type of blood cells made by bone marrow has important job. Red blood cells carry oxygen to tissue in the body. So, mao na siya kanang murag baliutok, kakuan mo nang sa ato ang bukog, murag naa siya sulod kanang murag utok. So, mao na siya ang bone marrow. Mao na siya ang substance nga makita sa sentro sa bukog. So, mao ko ni siya ang naghimo og kanang stem cell sa utok, sa bukog ug uban pang mga substance nga nagpatung sa dugo. So, ang bone marrow bali mao ni siya ang mga selula sa atong dugo nga mataghatag sa dugo nga gihimo sa utok sa bukog nga adunay importante. So, nanay siya trabaho sad sa iyaha nga nagdala og kanang mga thymus, lymph nodes. So, ang thymus, so this is the organ primarily responsible for the production and maturation of immune cells. So, including small lymphocytes that protect the body against foreign antigens. The thymus is a source of cells that will live in the lymphoid tissues and supports their maturation and proper function. So, ang thymus, mao ni ang organ nga baligauna og responsible nga paghimo og immune cells. So, there are 3 types of lymphatic B cells. So, katong duha, 2 types of kuanto siya lymphatic organ. So, kani 3 types of lymphatic B cell ang katong bone marrow ug thymus lymphatic organ. So, there are 3 types of lymphatic B cells. So, first, initial lymphatics, also known as capillaries. So, lymphatic capillaries, also known as absorbing vessels or initial vessels, are thin-walled microvessels, irregular in shape, composed of a single layer, of which form projects directed towards the lumen. So, ang lymphatic capillaries, mao ni siya usab ang ga-observe sa ato ang mga vessels o mga sudlanan nga initial nga sudlanan. Bali mao na siya ang lymphatic capillaries. So number 2, lymph vessels. The carry lymph to a lymph node are called different lymph vessels, and those that carry it from a lymph node are called different lymph vessels. From where the lymph may travel to another lymph node may be returned to a vein or may be travel to a larger lymph. So, ang lymph vessels nagdala og lymph ngadto sa usa ka lymph node. So, mao na atong gitawag og kanang afferent lymph vessels. Ug katong nagdala niini gikan sa usa ka lymph node gitawag punog gitawag nga afferent lymph vessels. Gikan diin ang lymph mahimo bali siya mahimo ang sanang mobiyahe kining another term sa mobiyahe. Mahimo siyang murag mo travel dito sa lymph padung sa lymph node. So ibalik ngadto sa usa ka ugat, mahimo pud siya mobiyahe pud siya padulong sa pinakadako nga lymph duct. So mao na siya ang lymph vessels, mura siya gi-travel. So two main ducts in upper chest. Number 3, two main ducts in upper chest empty lymph into your subclavian veins. These are your right lymphatic ducts and thoracic duct. These ducts are like highway on ramps or merging points with lymph regions your bloodstream. So duha ka unang ducts sa imong ibabaw nga sa imong babaw sa dughan. So naa siya duha ka ducts sa right and left. So walay sulod nga lymph ngadto sa imong subclavian veins. Kini ang imong tuo nga lymphatic duct ug thoracic. So mao na siya ang lymphatic duct ug thoracic duct. Kini nga duct sama sa nga hilag sa highway on. So murag merge gani kanang ug sa kuan pa murag ga cross ba. Mao na siya tawag sa merge, murag ga cross. So diin ang lymph mukuyog pag-usab sa imong bloodstream. So mukuyog siya usab sa imong bloodstream. Ang kaning subclavian vein is a deep vein that moves oxygen for blood from your upper body back to your heart. You have one each side of your body. Right subclavian vein carries blood from your right upper body. So mao ni siya ang 3 types of lymphatic vessels. So ang lymphatic vessels mao na siya are tube-like structures that carry fluid called lymph. Mao na siya gitawag lymph away from the tissues to deliver it back into the blood circulation. Unlike blood vessels, the circulation blood in a continuous closed loop systems, lymphatics carry fluid in one direction. So ang lymphatic vessels mao na siya sama sa tubo, murag tubo siya nga agianan sa kuan nga nagdala, mao na siya ang gadala og fluid ngadto sa lymph palayo sa imong tissue aron ihatod kini balik sa bali mao na siya magdala dito og fluid padulong sa imuhang kuan circulation sa dugo. So dili sama sa mga ugat sa dugo nga magpalibot sa dugo sa usa ka padayon. So mao na sistema nga lymphatic nagdala og fluid sa usa ka direksyon. So next.
So this is the continuation of lymphatic system, and my topic is about right lymph nodes or lymph nodes. So lymph nodes are small lumps of tissue that contain white blood cells. So maingon tag white blood cells, the other term anemia is leukocytes. Then which fight infection. They are part of your body's immune system, and they are filter your lymph fluid. When we say lymph is water, which is composed of fluid and waste products created by the body's tissues. Lymph nodes help to fight infections. So ang lymph nodes kay mao ni siya ang kanang gamay nga bukol sa atong tissue nga nag-contain siya og kanang white blood cells which fight infection also. So sila ni ang parts sa atong body's immune system og mao pod ni siya ang mo filter sa atong lymph fluid diin mag-compose siya og kanang fluid waste products nga maghimo siya sa atong body's tissues. And moreover, lymph nodes help to fight infections. Then let's proceed about the spleen. So the spleen is located in the upper left part of the belly under the rib cage. It helps protect the body by clearing worn out red blood cells and other foreign bodies or such as germs from the bloodstream. The spleen also is part of the lymphatic system, which is an extensive drainage network. So ang spleen ma-locate ni siya sa atong upper left part of our belly under the rib cage. So mo tabang sa siya kanang protect sa atong body to or by clearing worn out red blood cells and other foreign bodies. So kani siya kay ang spleen kuan sa siya belong sa siya sa lymphatic system na mo ni siya ang nagkuan og kanang extensive drainage network.
So, in addition of the discussion of Kimberly, then about the parts of the lymphatic system, we have also the cervical lymph nodes, are small nodes or glands in the neck. Swelling in the neck may indicate a nearby infection or other health condition. So the lymphatic system is a network of organs and tissues that help support immunity, and the lymph nodes are tiny, kidney-shaped structures that act as filters in the system. Then we have the next is the palatine or fossa. It is a tonsil, commonly referred to as tonsils, and bundles of lymphatic tissues located in the lateral oropharynx. They sit in the isthmus of the fauces, bordered anteriorly by the palatoglossal arch and posteriorly by the palatopharyngeal arch. And lastly, we have the, what do you call this? Chile? The cisterna chyle is a lymphatic structure found at the caudal end of the thoracic duct that receives lymph draining from the abdominal and pelvic viscera and lower limbs. And now in summarize, the lymphatic system is a major source of immune cells and fluids, and it serves as a one-way passage, returning fluids from the tissues to the cardiovascular system. The lymphatic system is a compartmentalized network of vessels and specialized accessory organs. It begins in the farthest reaches of the tissues as tiny capillaries that transport a special fluids, which is lymph, and through an increasingly larger tributary system of vessels and filters, which is lymph nodes, and it leads to major vessels that drain back in the regular circulatory system. We have also some major function of the lymphatic system are as the following. First, we have to provide a route for the return of extracellular fluids to the circulatory system proper. And then the number two, to act as a drain-off system for the inflammatory response. And the number three is to render surveillance, recognition, and protection against foreign materials through a system of lymphocytes, phagocytes, and antibodies. And lastly, one of the main functions of lymphatic system is, here we go again, is returning lymph to the circulation. The flows of lymph is in one direction only, with lymph moving from the extremities towards the heart. Eventually, lymph will be returned to the bloodstream through the thoracic duct or the right lymphatic duct to the subclavian vein near the heart. The lymphatic system consists of the branching network of vessels that extend into small body areas. Note that the higher density of lymphatic vessel in the dead end areas of the hands, foot, and breast, which are frequent contact points for infections. And other lymphatic organs include the lymph nodes, spleen, gut-associated lymphatic tissue or GALT, and the thymus and the tonsil.
So that's all our topic about the lymphatic system. So together with Jory V. Abedencia, Renan Egonia, and this is me, Alegre.